Hey guys, how you guys doing? We're on what episode is this?
10 million.
I don't know. Episode whatever it is of Sunday Matinees. Tonight we have our friends on the other side of the world from Germany, Rykers. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Correctly, you said that right. Yeah.
I barely know how to speak English too, so sorry.
Hey,
Today I have my partner Kevin from Supply and Demand.
What's up, guys?
Kevin, you want to start it off?
Sure. So obviously we know who you guys are. I've been hearing about you guys for, the whole time you've been around. For some young kids that may not know you, that live on the West Coast of America, tell the world about your band. Give us a little, most of the people are going to know you, but some people don't know anything about you. Can you give us a little background and tell us about the history of the band?
sure. Well, I started the band like in '92 with a different lineup, and the idea was just like to play a couple of shows outside our hometown. That was basically it. Well, at that time, like all the bands from our area were just like playing the same clubs over and over again, and that was it. And I was like, let's go out, let's play somewhere else. And well, we started, and after 3 or 4 shows, we we got the chance to support the guys from Pitbull Detroit on the whole European tour, and we got in touch with MAD, with the tour booking agency, and got slots with whatever SFA, Agnostic Front, Sick of It All, Madball, all those bands, like all those legendary bands, and yeah, then we started playing, and the ball kept rolling, and yeah, I don't know, it just worked that way. In 2000, actually, we split up for a while because everybody was like busy with doing their own stuff and like families, and yeah, but we got back together, and from that point on, we're still rolling, and it's a lot of fun. That's a quick wrap up.
So if you don't mind me jumping in, Kevin, my question is, you guys started in the early '90s, where when I first came on to music and to hardcore was in the 2000s, where I thought having MapQuest or like the internet was like fairly new, but it was still like, oh, like I could find out about bands. So I asked Kevin all the time too, at least in the States, I understood how people discovered bands or hardcore and punk.
We would get like a carrier pigeon or we'd put it on a horse and buggy, and
But-
that's how we do it in Boston.
But in Germany, what was when you guys first got into punk rock and hardcore? How was that in Germany? Like, what was it like, and how did you even discover it?
um, Let me tell you this. I started listening with listening to Kiss. That's still obviously my favorite band. And it was Kevin, I think I sent you a question already, or an answer to your question already. I started that logical progression, like listening to Kiss, then the new wave of British heavy metal, Motorhead, Slayer, of course, and then like all of a sudden, like all those bands like Slayer, Anthrax, they were wearing these weird shirts from bands like the Cro-Mags or Agnostic Front. So I was like, oh, what's that? I have to figure that out. And so somehow there were some mail orders, and I was doing tape trading at that time as well. So yeah, we got there, and people were at shows, they were selling records. That was basically it, like some small mail orders. Actually, people were writing letters to the stage just to order some stuff. And it took you like 6 months to get like that package from Revelation. It was different, definitely different. And you hear it like it was like this from the word of mouth, just like people were telling you about this great band that they discovered, so you're gonna check them out. That was it.
I remember being.
For me, it was as I'm the fresh kid in the band. I'm much more younger than Chris is, and for me, it was also the beginning of 2000, I think, and it was mainly the influence of MTV. I have to say, and the first thing I saw was probably or heard was Biohazard, Urban Discipline. That changed my my way of listening to music, because before that I was much more into alternative music, Faith No More, Alice in Chains.
Sure.
That stuff.
But
Hearing Chris, Chris, you sound like exactly how I got in. If you changed Kiss for Black Sabbath, new wave of British heavy metal, and I was always looking for something more extreme. What's heavier, what's crazier, and then it was like Black Flag and all that shit, and then it was like then the crossover happened, and I started seeing all the hardcore bands play with metal bands, and then I switched jerseys and went hardcore. Although I still listen to metal a ton, as you know. But definitely like the very similar progression in music and the way I came up.
so, like, what part of Germany are you guys from?
It's right in the middle.
Exactly.
It's right in the middle. It's Hessen, Kassel. It's like, yeah, if you have like, let's say Hamburg up in the north, you have Munich up in the south. It's right in the middle.
Okay, definitely been there.
Yeah, the Castle Crew.
So what was
Fucking phone.
what was hardcore shows and punk shows like for you guys when you first started the band?
Different. It was just like I would say like people were like super enthusiastic. Like they were, of course, all were younger, way younger than these days, and everything was just like it was brand new. You got like a new toy, right? Like these days, like people are they're getting older and stuff, and they're still into the band and into the music, and there's still tons of new bands coming out and new kids, but like music itself is not really new. But way back then, everything was brand new. Like Kevin was just saying, we discovered something. Always you're looking for something new, something more extreme, and then boom, you had hardcore, and it was so fast. Remember those bands like Cryptic Slaughter and all those weird metalcore or however you want to call it, crossover bands, and they were
ERI. Yeah. Even Napalm Death was kind of, a little bit in that, on the first record.
Scum, yeah.
That's crazy. Right, keep going?
Yeah. So, obviously there's this global pandemic. You might have heard of it. It's been a total shit show here in California from January on, and we were on lockdown from March through about a month ago, and we're back on lockdown. So it's been nonstop we sprinkle a few riots and wildfires in there, which a wildfire started today again. So this year has been just fucking brutal over here. What's the pandemic been like in Germany? Obviously it sucks everywhere, but have you guys been on lockdown the whole time or part of the time, or how's it work?
Kind of. It's you, Chris, because you're the barbecue guy and you like to invite people, and you can't invite people anymore.
That's the
in
thing.
the longer. Yeah.
I'm the socializer. I like to do I like to talk to people. I like to invite people to my house. Actually, you guys are invited now. Barbecue, beer, just like hanging out, and that doesn't happen. I was on short time work for about half a year, so I spent like 6 months at home. You can imagine like the home looks beautiful now, and the garden looks great because I renovated everything. Yeah. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, I miss people. I miss shows, and it's. Well, I know, like we still got some money, and so that's fine. There are other people that are really fucked up in this situation, but well, if you cannot go out or just like take your wife out for dinner or something, that's I don't know. It sucks, and you kind of feel guilty if you're going to invite some people over there, and it's going to be more than 10. You feel like, oh, what will the neighbors say? Is that cool? Can we do that? It's I don't know. It's a fucked up year.
It's really weird up here because they like will be following all the rules, and then you go one county over, nobody wears a mask. Me and Nate have been, we're like fam, so we're around each other all the time, kind of almost the same household, But you go to other counties, like people just walk around no mask. We get this idiot president who's saying it's not even real. Like it's been the whole year on top of all the regular shit. To have someone actually like almost like working against us getting past this stuff. It's been surreal. It's been a crazy year, man. I never thought I'd see America the way it's been.
Are things in Germany locked down currently? Like are you able to eat inside a restaurant, or is that not a thing?
No,
No.
Not a thing. So
it's on lockdown again.
and that's
I think the summertime was pretty easy because you could eat outside of the restaurants, and the restaurants put on the tables down on the sidewalk. Was no problem. But right now the weather's getting more and more shitty, and so everyone stays inside. For me, I'm the Netflix guy. I'm just give me Netflix. I don't go outside anymore. No, but it's not easy, but not at as extreme as in the US, I guess.
yeah. So I have to ask, because a lot of people who are musicians either do that full time or they do other work. For you guys, have you guys been able to work since you're not able to play music, or what have you guys been doing throughout the pandemic?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm working like a decent job in the airline business, but well, airline business, short time work. I stayed home for like 6 months, and there was not much we could do. Like, I mean, it was me and Flo just going to the rehearsal room just like once in a while to do at least something or work on some new stuff. But
Only two people at once.
yeah,
That's it. No rehearsal. No real rehearsal.
it's it's weird. Seriously, I mean, I'm luckily enough we are not depending on music, but I feel so sorry like for all those bands. I mean, I don't really feel sorry for like Metallica and stuff because they already had their money. The Madonnas in this world, the Beyoncé's, that's all fine with them. They just took a year off. That's fine. It's quality time for them. But like for all those bands who like are super committed, like Madball, like Sicker, all those bands, I feel so sorry for them, and that sucks big time.
Yeah, it really does, because they committed. These guys have been doing it 30 years. When I was fortunate to have a day job and buying a house and all that kind of stuff. So their commitment's been.
Yeah.
And what do you do after 30 years?
Yeah.
It's really hard to watch for us because we're fortunate enough where we do work from home to a certain sense. I work in music, so it's kind of still taking its toll on me. But to watch our friends' bands who like if anybody knows who plays in a punk or hardcore band, it's not something that you make millions of dollars or a lot of money. The only way to make money is by playing shows. So it's really hard for us to watch our friends and peers to not be able to do that. And it's kind of stressful. It's like, if they're not out there, that means they're not able to pay the bills. So at least in the States, in Germany, has there been a support from the government to at least help the arts and music and venues at all? Because here venues are closing left and right here.
That's the main problem, I think, because most of the big companies get lots of support, while the musicians and small bars and clubs and whatnot, everything, all the guys in the entertainment sector, they don't get any money of the government, and I think they're trying to support them, but it's complicated, and lots of those people are having big problems. Full-time musicians.
Yeah, so it seems
Not like us.
kind of worldwide, huh? Would it seem?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of funny. At one point, the government was offering something like, "Hey, you can get like we cover 75% of your income that you have in November had in November." So, but some musicians were like, "Yeah, we weren't touring in November. We did nothing in
Yeah.
November. So we had no
Exactly.
income. How would you cover like 75% of nothing? So what about like the 75% of the income from the whole year? That would be like a
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I got a couple good friends. We had Terror Play who did a live stream here the other day, and we had Pennywise in here. Those are guys who like make a living off of this stuff, and I just feel for them, man. It's been rough, and at least hopefully that'll help them get a little bit of cash, from that. Buy their merch, support your homies. But yeah, it's been a bad year, man. It's just all around.
I have to ask because I asked. We interviewed our friends from Canada the other day, and when I mentioned Donald Trump, they laughed as well when we mentioned him. I have to ask because it's everywhere in the world has this kind of telescope on America right now. What do you guys think of America and the situation here right now?
Well, maybe I answer that question because I've been to the States like so many times. We got close friends living in LA, and it's so far I was always either at the East Coast or West Coast. And everybody there is like super cool, normal. They're like well educated and stuff. Yeah, and then you had like the clown. Well,
yeah,
the middle. Yeah.
In the very beginning, I thought that's a joke, but yeah, well,
so did we, man. We also thought we're like, this isn't real.
But that's a real bad joke. I mean, like Ronald Reagan was good for like the hardcore movement because he created like a lot of great bands. Yeah. But this guy, well, I'm pretty much sure like a lot of Americans will hate me for that. But I remember a time when democracy was stands for like debates. You can you can talk to people, you can discuss something, but you can still be friends. But like, I think this time is like long over, and I'm kind of shocked about that. I mean, just like I really hope for the better now.
It's almost like a cult with him, because there's politicians on both sides that I can't stand. And if you ask me about Obama, I'll tell you what I don't like about him. You ask me about Bush, I'll tell you what I don't like about him. There's plenty of wrong both sides, but with the Trump voters, it's literally been like about 4.5 years of a daily crisis disgrace that any other politician would be run out of town on a rail, like having foreign governments interfere in our election. He lost by 6 million votes and says he's got the vote stolen. It's crazy. Every day it's like some new shit, and it still hasn't ended even after he lost the election. He still hasn't even conceded, and it's just like, God, I just can't wait till it's over. I've never wanted a guy to go away so bad. He's just been it's embarrassing as an American what a piece of shit he is, And if people don't like me, they're Americans. Fuck you. I don't speak for the other guys in my band, just me.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's so weird, and I think humans are supposed to learn from mistakes or from earlier mistakes, but apparently the Germans did some of them, but I think it's getting worse. Like every fucking day, if just take a look around, what's going on in this world, and then this clown is on the rise for quite some time, and you either support him or you're like super against him, and there's no discussion anymore. There's no middle way. So it's either you are for us or you're against us. It's like, people.
It's funny you mentioned that because that's the same kind of conversation that we've had many of times. Is that a lot of the times they're, as far as politics go, I never really agreed with either side. I've never been someone that really cared about politics, but now you're kind of forced to. But the whole thing of the democracy was that there's these arguments that were communicated and we were met in the middle. They're like, hey, this works or this doesn't work. But now it seems like everybody's kind of to some extreme where either you're either with them or against them, and there's no communication, and that's where people are just clashing and being fucking crazy here, and it sucks,
Yeah, well, it's like I always take politics like a politician has these many issues, and I'll agree with this many of them for this person, this many with that person, and I use my own values and judgment and figure out what I like, not whatever they tell me I like. I suddenly don't agree with anything I agreed with before. You know what I mean? They just, whatever this guy says, it's like a cult. They're just following him. But anyway, we don't need to talk about that piece of shit anymore.
Well, either way, politics suck. America's being crazy right now, so hopefully
we can agree on that.
Correct. But so I have to ask because so you guys just, or I don't know if it's been announced yet, but you guys are doing a split with the eulogy, correct?
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
how did that happen, and how was the process of recording those songs?
Well, I think, well, apparently we toured with Madball and the Mastodon, I know maybe for quite some time now. And yeah, at one point, I think we were talking, and like, he told me about this new band that he was doing, like the Eulogy, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And he sent me some sound files, and I was like, hey, well, this is a new band, and maybe why not doing like a 7-inch, a split 7-inch, like old school style together? And he was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna ask the guys in my band, and because well, actually, a couple of people know us in Germany, but I guess not so many in the US. And so I thought it's going to be like beneficial for both sides. Like a lot of people haven't heard about the eulogy in Europe or in Germany, and yeah, and so far I definitely can tell it worked. There's like some real buzz about that whole thing,
Yeah.
which we kind of enjoy.
When Matt hit us up about it, he goes, "You want to do a split with the Rykers?" We're like, "Fuck yeah, we do! Of course we do." We're very excited about it, you know. So it was really excited to get involved with the project with you guys, and it's been a lot of fun doing some of these interviews together and working with the team. So it's been cool.
But as far as Rykers go, you guys been a band for what, almost 30 years. So, you know, in 30 years, can you say what was your favorite show you've ever played?
No. No, I mean there was like so many great shows, like from big festivals. I mean, we were just like we played CBGBs. I'm like super proud of that. I cannot say that was the greatest show on earth because it wasn't super packed. People don't care that much about the German band, but we played CBs. Um, but like there were so many crazy shows. We played the Dynamo Festival in Holland, and we 32 people going to hospital after the show. It was a crazy festival. A guitar player got arrested at that show. Like, yeah, well, I can start talking now, and you guys are going to fall asleep, and I'm going to talk for another 3 hours.
No, when you start talking about people getting arrested, that's when we start wanting to pay attention.
Well, well, he had like
All the
some
dirty stories.
he had some sort of
dirt.
let's point it that way. He put out some fireworks, like he shoot up some fireworks from his like little gun, and after that, we were actually camping. We were not going to a hotel or something. We just like stayed on the festival ground, on the campground, and like yeah, well, this place was surrounded by police that night, and wow, definitely, it makes it was good promotion.
It was a blank gun, I think, with Gobi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a blank gun, and that's enough in the Netherlands for you to get arrested. Think of it.
No kidding.
Yeah, are you allowed to own guns in Germany or Netherlands?
No.
No.
You have to have a license and all that kind of stuff, but it's so hard to get one. So well, and no, actually, I'm glad that it's that way.
Yeah, man.
So
take it from an American, where we live in communities where everybody has a fucking gun. It sucks.
I know.
I'm not afraid to fight. I'm afraid to get shot now.
Yeah, fighting's not a problem. It's getting the shot part. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. But so you know, I've known about Rykers just because I've been fortunate enough to tour Europe a decent amount of times now, and you always learn about these bands that kind of paved the way for a lot of the bands that are existing in Europe. So same thing with America, where I'm like, oh, you know, I love Madball, I love Agnostic Front. You always kind of pay homage to these bands that been doing it longer than I have, you know. But for some reason, I always kind of like wonder, like, you know, I always wish European bands could come to the States more. It was more accessible for European bands to come to the States, because it seems like American bands are always going to Europe. Do you guys have like, do you guys care to come play the US, or is it just really difficult for you guys to come play here?
I think first of all, it's difficult because it's like super expensive, and it seems to me like that the scene is like way much smaller over there. Like
Compared to
I'm
Europe?
gonna look at because I'm looking at. I used to work for Century Media for a record label, so and I see like how the scene is changing there, like all the time. Like people in the US, don't get me wrong, but it seems like they always look for something new. And so this band is like hot for a year or two. That's the big thing. But then the kids are looking for something new. In Germany or in Europe, it's different. Like people are like super loyal. If they are into Agnostic Front, they're gonna get their AF tattoo and they're gonna stick with the band like forever.
Yeah.
And like the best example, like, and now you can laugh, is a band like Manowar. I mean, everybody's making fun of Manowar, but they still got such a loyal following over here. It's unbelievable.
And David Hasselhoff. Remember the Hoff.
The Hoff.
Is Germany. It's Germany. Manowar and Hasselhoff. That's the big deal over here. Still loyal from the 80s, 90s. I don't know.
I'd go to that
They
show.
love it here.
Yeah, I always want, like, I mean, obviously we're fairly active in music, but I always wonder why it's like, you're correct. In the States, it's very, you know, constantly rotating as far as music and bands. And, you know, one year you'll see a band and there'll be a packed out show. 2 years later, it's not packed. And it's really strange because every time I've gone to Europe or even like Japan, where like, you know, you'll see a band grow there and it keeps growing and people appreciate it. And also the hospitality in Europe and is fucking insane. So I love going to Europe because it's just like, it seems to be like people care, you know, where like, you know, it's actually Germany's the first place where like some guys was like, hey man, like you guys are awesome, but you guys play that song kind of different. I'm like, wait, you actually listen to the records? You know, it's pretty cool to see that. But dude, there's so many European bands. I'm like, fuck, I wish they could come to the States and play shows here because, you know, I can't always go to Europe to see bands, you know.
I had Born from Pain played at Supply and Demand last year, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I know. I think they did like a whole tour over there, right?
Yeah. They go, hey, we want you to play there. I'm like, cool, but you're playing like 5 other shows in LA. Like, so they did like, the thing with LA is there's so many. There's you got Los Angeles proper. We're in Long Beach. It's kind of a different scene, but it's the same. Orange County, same, but kind of this, you know. So it's like 5 or 6 areas around it where he's from, Pomona. They got their own thing, but you can't do all 5 of them. So, but it was cool. They fucking killed it. I was so stoked to have them. You know, they're super cool guys too. So.
Well, I mean, at one point we are way much cooler.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I know.
You can play here tomorrow if you want.
But do you ever see Rykers coming out to California or no?
Well, I would love to. Like I said, I'm over there like all the time. I actually I was about to catch you guys at Eulogy playing live, but we're driving by. That was I think last year, nothing. Well, whatever. At one point, I mean, I love fucking California since I've been there like in San Diego in 2001 or 2002, like for the first time, and I was like, whoa, I kind of like that lifestyle over there. It's different.
San Diego's really nice, really nice. It's like a clean LA, like LA's scummier, more crime.
But yeah, what else you got, Kev?
So you know, you kind of touched on something there, and I've always kind of felt the same way. Sometimes you hear like a CBGB's or some of these other legendary places, and you play them, and you're like, it's cool, but I just played someone's basement, and it was way better. Have you guys had that kind of experience? In a lot of those places, you get all hyped up for it, and then you get let down, and then you're like, oh, this tour is gonna suck, and then 2 days later, you're playing some basement or some weird place, and you're like, this is the best show I've ever had. That's boring for sure.
Yeah, I think you asked me that question with the other interview, and I definitely have to tell. Sometimes we play festivals, that's great, but like basement shows that like, where people are just like going berserk, it's a great thing. And then you heard about this club and you're looking forward to go to this special club, and then you've been there and you're like, oh, okay, that's it. Well, that's kind of disappointing. But like, well, different story with CBs. That was just like a great experience, and like
Yeah, that's just like an iconic place. Like even if the show's not great, you're just like, this is cool.
Yeah,
you know?
we have the whiskey here in LA. It's the same kind of thing. Like,
fuck that place.
I say fuck CBGBs because that place is a shithole. My friend got a guitar stolen out of there. But it's like, we're from Boston, so. But
yeah, like my favorite, I think for me, as far as playing shows, I prefer like the basement show or like the house show. Here in California, like punk shows, like there's always house shows. Is there house shows in Germany? Like, is there people playing basements and house shows, or is that not really a thing?
Yeah, kind of. We did some kind of secret show in our hometown, and I think not many people know who we were because we didn't play there a long time. But it was crowded, and it was like I don't know, 20 square meters the whole room, and it was going crazy. People jumping all over, sweating.
That's awesome.
Cool. Pretty cool. Real awesome.
Well, I can't wait to play a fucking show, dude. God damn it.
So should we jump to the lightning round?
Let's do it.
All right. So you guys are, Chris for sure is familiar with this. So we're going to do the lightning round. So I'm going to throw you a question and you pick one or the other, or yes or no. Vanilla or chocolate? Pick one.
Vanilla.
Yeah, I go with a vanilla.
Punk or metal?
Metal.
Well, as much as I love punk, I stick with metal.
I'm gonna go punk.
You would?
Hell yeah. I'm
Really?
from LA.
You're a fucking metalhead, dude. Slayer or Metallica?
Slayer.
All the time, fucking Slayer.
That's not even close.
Yeah.
Creator or Obituary?
Oh.
Well, I stay with the Germans. I stay with Creator. I love Obituary, but
Absolutely.
I would go for Obituary.
Yeah,
I really like this sound. Yeah. This unique sound. What was it? Morris Sound Studios in Tampa. Great sound. Great guitar sound.
Obituary's still one of my
vocals.
favorite bands live. It's like every time they play live, it's fucking incredible. And they're like a band with no fucking gimmicks. They literally go up there, load up their own gear, and fucking smash. It's incredible watching that band play.
Creator's sick ass band though. Feel the endless pain. And they were like one of the early days ones from the early 80s.
Yeah.
They were like, could have been in the big five. If there was a big five or a big six, there's arguments they should be in it, like with the big four, Metallica and all them. But Obituary, I listen to them every week. Like that's like they're up there with Sabbath to me. Like
Yeah,
just
they're still one of my
sickest.
favorite bands.
Beer or whiskey?
beer.
Beer. Absolutely. And do you like IPAs or just regular beer like men drink?
I like IPAs, fucker.
I better back off and kick the shit out of me.
I've been to a couple of your beer fests over there since a friend of mine is working for the beer industry, and and I was always asking him like, hey, do we have something that comes close to a German Pilsner? So I like some sort of craft beer, but yeah, I stick with the regular ones.
I'm so down for Pilsners. I used to just love going across Europe, and every city's got their own Pilsner or lager. And now it's like all the IPAs to me taste the same, but that's just my old rickety fucking taste buds that are 100 years old. So that might be what's causing it. Gorilla Biscuits, Minor Threat.
Minor Threat.
Minor Threat, yeah.
And old school, new school.
The previous question asked that one. I mean,
yeah. Old school. All the way.
Both.
Yeah, I like it all. So
I like news. Yeah, I'm actually pretty open. And I've been on this journey for 30, 40 years. Just what's the new thing? What's crazier? What's better? What's harder? What's, whatever. But do you got any stuff?
No, man. Again, it's pretty cool to, it sucks not to be able to play a show and go to Germany and visit, but I guess this is the next best thing, to just kind of stay connected with people. Is there, a lot for this platform? It's mainly Americans that watch this, but what's some bands from Germany or Europe that we should be paying attention to?
Oh,
I would always say like our friends, and it's a German name. It's 1000 Löwen unter Feinden, like 1000 lions under enemies or something. But they're great guys. The guys in Nesty are cool. There's this new band coming out, Eyes of Tomorrow. They're great. Like a lot of cool bands around.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've gotten a chance to play with Nasty a good amount of times, and it's cool to see like that style of hardcore just like do really good in Germany, and it's like they like perfected it,
I was actually telling them, like, I heard the new record, they played it to me when I was sitting in their car, and I was like, well, it's definitely not really my cup of tea, like this kind of music, like this super beat down kind of stuff. I like some more melody or like whatever, some more metal, but not like this super beat down. But like the way they're doing it, I was like, if you're going to do it that way, that's the perfect way you guys are doing it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Production's great, and it's like super heavy. Like I said, I cannot listen to this record all the time. I'd rather listen to like whatever, some old Bad Religion. But it's great for what it is.
What's your guys' favorite city to play in Germany?
Oh, hard to say, because there are like so many cool places, like in East Germany, like Leipzig and Chemnitz are just like great. Of course, Berlin is always fun.
Yeah.
I love Berlin.
What a great city.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it was surprisingly I think that was one of the times we toured Europe, in the southern part of Europe. There's a city like super south where you drive in and it almost looks like the country. Like it's not a major city, and we showed up to this like youth center, and it was like super southern Germany. But it was probably one of my favorite shows I ever played in Germany. And every time I've gone to like southern Germany, I was like, I'm kind of surprised by how like it looks and appears like we're playing in the middle of nowhere, but the shows are crazy. I wish I could remember what the city was called, but it was like, for some reason, Berlin and southern Germany have always been really awesome.
Yeah, like I said, like the scene is still strong, but like in the major cities, like Hamburg, for example, is great as well. Like I always like to play Hamburg, and and still doing sightseeing like all the time we are around. So it's come over at one point, and we're gonna play a show together. And Kevin, we got like some Pilsner.
Yeah, can't wait to.
Yeah. When the eulogy goes to Europe, I'm coming.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, guys, anything else you got on your end?
No, great to see you guys, and great to talk to you in person.
So when the eulogy Rykers record comes out, when does it come out?
It's coming out. Well, it's pre-sale right now, and it's going to come out in February. Correct, guys?
Awesome. Yeah. Well, February, we'll keep a lookout for the eulogy Rykers record, and again, thank you guys for joining us all the way from Germany, and hopefully we'll get to see you guys soon.
Well, thank you, and have a great day.
All right,
thank you very much.
Peace out.
Peace. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.